Have you ever felt it? That sharp, sinking feeling in your stomach when someone's words or actions make you feel small. It's a universal human experience, yet it feels incredibly personal in the moment. Disrespect can come from a stranger on the street, but honestly, it cuts deepest when it comes from someone we know, trust, or even admire. It's the colleague who dismisses your idea in a meeting, the family member who makes a cutting joke at your expense, the leader who overlooks your contribution. These moments are more than just uncomfortable. They are attacks on our sense of worth and belonging. They whisper a dangerous lie: you are not enough. This feeling is a cocktail of shame, anger, and confusion. Shame tells us we are flawed and unworthy of respect. It makes us want to hide, to disappear, so no one else can see the perceived inadequacy that was just exposed. Anger rushes in to protect us, a fiery shield against the hurt. It screams, "How dare you!" Confusion swirls around it all, asking, "What did I do to deserve this?" We replay the scene in our minds, dissecting every word, every look, searching for an explanation. The weight of these emotions can be crushing, pulling us down into a spiral of self-doubt and isolation. It's a lonely place to be. The truth is, disrespect is rarely about us. It's almost always a reflection of the other person's insecurities, fears, or unhealed pain. But knowing this intellectually doesn't always soothe the immediate sting. Our brains are wired for connection, for belonging. When someone treats us with disrespect, it triggers our deepest survival instincts. It signals that we are on the outside of the tribe, that we are vulnerable. That's why it hurts so much. It's not just about hurt feelings. It's about a fundamental threat to our sense of safety and our place in the world. It's a profound disconnection. So what do we do when we find ourselves in that painful moment? How do we navigate the emotional storm without letting it capsize our self-worth? The first step is to acknowledge the hurt. We can't bypass the pain. We have to be brave enough to sit with the discomfort and name what we are feeling. To say, that was not okay, and it hurt. This isn't about wallowing. It's about honoring our own experience. It's the first courageous step toward reclaiming our power and refusing to let someone else's behavior define our story. This is where the real work begins. Let me tell you about Maya. She was a brilliant, creative professional full of ideas and passion for her work. For months, she had been pouring her heart into a project, working late nights and weekends to make it perfect. She was proud of what she had created and excited to present it to her team and her boss, a man she deeply respected. She saw him as a mentor, someone whose approval she valued immensely. The day of the presentation, she walked into the conference room with a quiet confidence, her notes perfectly organized, her vision clear. She was ready to share her hard work. As she began her presentation, the energy in the room felt off. Her boss seemed distracted, checking his phone and whispering to the person next to him. When she got to her key proposal, the part she was most proud of, he interrupted her mid-sentence. He didn't just disagree, he dismissed her entire concept with a wave of his hand. "That's naive," he said, not even making eye contact. "Let's move on. We don't have time for fantasy projects." The words hung in the air, heavy and sharp. The rest of the team shifted uncomfortably in their seats, avoiding her gaze. In that instant, Maya felt herself shrink. It was as if all the air had been sucked out of the room. Her confidence evaporated, replaced by a hot, creeping shame that flushed her cheeks. She stumbled through the rest of her slides, her voice barely a whisper. The passion and excitement she felt just moments before were gone, replaced by a hollow ache. It wasn't the feedback that hurt. She was open to constructive criticism. It was the blatant disrespect, the dismissal, the public humiliation in front of the very people she worked with and led every single day. After the meeting, she walked back to her desk in a daze. She sat staring at her screen, the words of her boss echoing in her mind. Naive, fantasy, the story she started telling herself was brutal. Maybe he's right. Maybe my ideas are stupid. Maybe I'm not cut out for this job. The disrespect had planted a seed of doubt, and shame was watering it, helping it grow into a thick vine of self-criticism that threatened to choke her spirit. She wanted to pack her things and run. She wanted to become invisible. The pain of being unseen and unvalued was immense. That evening, Maya sat with the hurt. She let the tears fall. She allowed herself to feel the anger, the embarrassment, and the profound sadness. She didn't try to push it away or pretend she was fine. This is a critical step we often miss. We are so afraid of our difficult emotions that we numb them or lash out. But courage requires us to feel. Maya was daring greatly by allowing herself to be vulnerable with her own pain. She acknowledged that what happened was not okay, it was disrespectful, and it was unfair. She gave herself permission to be heartbroken about it. In the middle of that emotional storm, she arrived at a choice point. This is a moment we all face after a fall. One path was paved with shame. It led to bitterness, resentment, and a smaller version of herself. On this path, she would let her boss's opinion become her reality. She would stop taking risks, stop sharing her ideas, and protect her heart by never showing up with her whole self again. The other path was harder. It was the path of courage and self-worth. It required her to believe in her own value, even when someone else failed to see it. This choice is not easy. Shame is a powerful force, and its siren song is tempting. It promises a false sense of safety in hiding. But Maya, after sitting with her pain, found a flicker of defiance. She thought about all the work she had done, the passion she had for her project, and the value she knew she brought to the team. She realized that letting one person's disrespectful moment define her would be the ultimate betrayal, not of her boss, but of herself. She had a choice. Let his words become her story, or pick up the pen and write her own ending. She chose to write her own story. She decided that his disrespect was a reflection of his own limitations, not a measure of her worth. This didn't mean the hurt magically disappeared, it was still there. But she refused to build a home in it. Instead, she decided to use it as information. His behavior told her something about his leadership style and the professional environment she was in. It was data, and with that data, she could make conscious choices about how to move forward, not from a place of fear or anger, but from a place of integrity and strength. Maya's transformation wasn't instantaneous. It was a practice, a daily commitment to choosing courage over comfort. The next day, she walked into the office with her head held high. She didn't confront her boss in anger or engage in gossip. Instead, she focused on her work with a renewed sense of purpose. She doubled down on excellence, not to prove him wrong, but to prove herself right. She knew her ideas had merit, so she began gathering data to support them. She built alliances with colleagues who shared her vision and who treated her with respect. She responded with integrity. When she had to interact with her boss, she was professional, calm, and direct. She didn't shrink or apologize for her presence. She simply stood her ground, armed not with aggression, but with quiet confidence. This calm strength was disarming. It sent a clear message: you do not have the power to diminish me. Her response was not about fighting back. It was about standing firm in her own dignity. She was reclaiming her space, one respectful interaction at a time, showing up as the leader she wanted to be. This process of turning pain into fuel is a superpower. Maya used the sting of disrespect as motivation to become undeniable. She sought out extra training, read books on her industry, and connected with mentors outside her company. She was channeling her emotional energy into productive growth. Every time a flicker of self-doubt crept in, she reminded herself of her choice to rise. She was not just improving her skills, she was fortifying her spirit. She was learning that her worth was not up for negotiation. The outcome was powerful. Her colleagues noticed her unwavering professionalism and renewed drive. They saw her confidence and began to seek out her opinion more and more. Eventually, the data she gathered for her so-called fantasy project became so compelling that it could no longer be ignored. She presented it again, not to her boss, but to a wider leadership group. This time, she was met with applause and genuine interest. She had earned respect not by demanding it, but by embodying it. She showed everyone, including herself, that true power comes from within. Maya's story teaches us a powerful lesson. When we are faced with disrespect, our first instinct might be to fight back or to retreat in shame. But you know, there is a third way, the way of integrity. It starts with shifting your focus from the person who disrespected you to yourself. You cannot control their behavior, but you can control your response. Allow yourself to feel the anger, the hurt, the shame. Get curious about these feelings. What are they telling you? Acknowledging your emotions is not weakness. It is the foundation of resilience. Next, respond with integrity. This doesn't mean you have to be a doormat. It means choosing a response that aligns with your values. Sometimes that might mean speaking up calmly and setting a boundary. Other times it might mean walking away. The most powerful response is often quiet dignity. It's choosing peace over battle, because your inner peace is more valuable than winning an argument. Revenge might feel satisfying for a moment, but dignity is a strength that lasts a lifetime. It is the armor that protects your soul. Use the disrespect as fuel for your own growth. Let it motivate you to become so good at what you do that your value is self-evident. Let it inspire you to surround yourself with people who see you, who value you, and who lift you up. Disrespect can be a powerful clarifying moment. It can show you where you don't belong, so you can find where you do. It can reveal the cracks in your own self-worth, not so you can shatter, but so you can rebuild yourself stronger than before. It's a chance to become your own hero. Ultimately, you get to reclaim your narrative. Do not let a moment of disrespect become the defining chapter of your story. You are the author. You decide what it means. You can choose to see it as a story of shame, or you can transform it into a story of resilience, courage, and growth. You can turn the pain of being dismissed into the power of self-belief. Remember, your worth is inherent. It is not granted by others, and it cannot be taken away by them. Stand tall, own your story, and let your dignity be the quiet, unshakable superpower that lights your way forward.